Hello, welcome to the Learn English Lab. Today, we're diving deep into something pretty special for many of us, our favorite childhood cartoons.
Yes. Good times.
Definitely. But this isn't just about nostalgia, right? We're actually looking at how these shows, the ones that seem so simple, were actually like really powerful tools for learning English.
That's exactly it. They're surprisingly effective. We've looked into why that is, digging into different eras, styles from all over the world.
And even specific words and phrases you can pick up.
The goal really is to show how these old favorites can still be super useful for advanced learners today.
Helping you deepen comprehension, get vocabulary just right, understand those cultural bits.
Precisely. Refining those advanced skills.
Okay, so let's jump in. Why cartoons? What's the magic ingredient for a language learning there?
Well, it's interesting. There are quite a few layers. Think about it. When you watch a cartoon, you're not just passively listening.
No, you're invested. Laughing, maybe a bit tense during a chase.
Exactly. That emotional engagement, the laughing, the cheering, maybe even feeling a bit sad sometimes. It actually helps your brain hold on to new words and phrases much better.
Like little memory hooks.
Sort of, yeah. Emotional learning magnets, you could say.
That makes sense. I still remember feeling thrilled when Jerry got away. And it wasn't just feelings, was it? There was so much repetition.
Oh, absolutely. Cartoons are masters of repetition. Catchphrases, running gags, themes.
You hear the same things again and again.
And that repetition is gold for memory. It really hammers home the meaning and usage of words and expressions because you see them in different, slightly different contexts.
And the pictures, that has to be a big part of it. Even if you missed a word, you could often figure out what was happening.
You got it. That context richness is a huge advantage. The visuals give you immediate clues. You see the action, you hear the word describing it, it clicks.
So it's not just about the words themselves, but also the culture behind them, social stuff, humor.
That's a really key point. Cartoons are little cultural time capsules. They show you social norms, what people find funny, even idioms. Those tricky phrases that don't translate literally.
Ah, right. Idioms.
And for advanced learners listening, this is where it gets really interesting. It's about moving past just knowing words to understanding nuance. Subtle differences in vocabulary, layers in humor, the rhythm of idioms, even emotional tone.
So yeah, definitely more than just Saturday morning fun. It's almost like a sophisticated learning tool hiding in plain sight. Thinking back, cartoons looked so different depending on where they were from.
Totally. If you look globally, you see these fascinating trends. Like in the US, the 90s and early 2000s, lots of action, comedy, often a little moral lesson tucked in.
Oh yeah, I remember those. But then you had Japanese anime, which felt completely different.
Anime often goes for more emotional depth. Really complex stories, sometimes even philosophical ideas mixed in.
Do you think the language learning part works differently then with those styles, or are the basics the same?
That's a good question. I think the core elements, the visuals, the repetition, the engagement, they probably work universally.
Yeah.
But the type of language and cultural input changes.
And European animation, that always seemed to have its own unique flavor, too.
Spot on. Often known for distinct art styles, maybe a quirkier sense of humor, sometimes a bit surreal.
Right. And what about dubbed cartoons? Lots of people learned English watching American shows dubbed into English in other countries, or vice versa.
A huge factor. Those internationally dubbed versions were, for many people, their main exposure to spoken English, presented in an engaging way.
It's amazing how these shows crossed borders. Okay, let's zoom in then. How did specific cartoons we loved actually teach us language? Let's start with a classic, Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry. Timeless. Started way back in 1940. Simple concept. Cat versus mouse, lots of slapstick.
Hilarious slapstick, those elaborate traps.
And from a language angle, it's brilliant for action verbs. Think about it. Chase, trap, sneak, escape. You see these actions constantly.
You really see the meaning.
Exactly. And remember those little emotional bursts, the laughter you felt. That wasn't just fun. It was wiring that vocabulary in.
And the sounds, Tom's yelps, Jerry's little squeaks. Even the short words stick.
For sure. Things like gotcha or oops. Simple, common, easy to grasp in the moment.
Culturally, what was going on there besides chaos?
Well, beneath the chaos, you kind of see themes of persistence, rivalry. Sometimes they even reluctantly team up.
True. And we pick up words like trickster for Jerry.
Perfect word. And verbs like flatten, which often happen to Tom.
Huh. Yes. Didn't it also give us idioms like cat and mouse game?
It sure did. That one, and maybe curiosity killed the cat, although Tom usually survived. Even without much dialogue, you understand the dynamic. You can imagine Tom thinking, this time he's mine, and Jerry just zips away.
So even minimal dialogue works. Okay, what about a show with more talking, like, say, SpongeBob?
SpongeBob, excellent for listening comprehension. Think of his famous line.
I'm ready.
Exactly. You hear the enthusiasm, the stress on ready. And you see him, usually at the Krusty Krab, totally prepared. The meaning of ready is crystal clear.
Okay, yeah. And Scooby-Doo. Velma always seemed to be losing something important.
Huh. Yes. Scooby-Doo is great for vocabulary and context. Velma's classic. My glasses. I can't see without my glasses.
You learn glasses, obviously.
But also can't without the whole structure, all tied to a very clear, urgent situation. It also shows, those unspoken rules, cultural references, how humor works. Cartoons illustrate all that.
And then there's the master of cool, Bugs Bunny.
All Bugs. A goldmine for idioms and slang.
What's up, Doc?
The ultimate example. It's super casual. Doc isn't just for doctors. It's like this friendly, maybe slightly sarcastic term for anyone.
Yeah.
That tone's another layer to pick up.
It really is amazing how much language learning was packed into just watching cartoons for fun. Let's break down some of that vocabulary more explicitly. From Tom and Jerry, we had chase.
Right. Chase, the verb. To run after something to catch it. Like Tom chased Jerry. A way to remember it, maybe. Chase sounds a bit like race.
Okay. And sneak?
Sneak. Moving quietly, trying not to be seen. Jerry sneaks past Tom. Think of a sneaky snake.
And trap. Noun and verb.
Yep. A trap is the plan or device. To trap is the action. Tom's trap didn't work. Maybe you think you're trapped by a tap you can't turn off. A bit silly, but it might stick.
Worth a try. And trickster.
That's the noun for someone who plays clever tricks like Jerry. Trickstar.
And flatten. Poor Tom.
Yeah, flatten to make flat, usually with pressure. Tom got flattened by an anvil, like ironing something flat.
Okay, moving to bikini bottom. SpongeBob. Jellyfish.
The sea creature with stingers. SpongeBob loves jellyfish. Easy one. Jelly plus fish.
His job.
He's a fry cook. Someone who cooks fried food. SpongeBob's a great fry cook. Someone who fries and cooks.
His main tool.
His trusty spatula for flipping Krabby Patties. SpongeBob polished his spatula. Maybe you remember it like you spat you later while flipping pancakes.
Creative. Okay, 2 adjectives. Hilarious and clueless.
Right. Hilarious means extremely funny. Patrick's comments are hilarious. Maybe think falling down in hill areas can be funny. And clueless is not understanding. Patrick can be pretty clueless. Literally, CLU lease. Without a clue.
Got it. Now for Scooby-Doo and the gang. The main theme, mystery.
Yeah, a mystery is something hard to figure out. They solve a new mystery each week, like a missed story. The details aren't clear.
The general feeling.
Often spooky, meaning eerie or scary. The old house was spooky. Maybe like a spoiled cookie, unpleasant makes you uneasy.
What happens at the end?
They usually unmask the villain, take off the disguise. They unmask the caretaker. Simple one. Un plus mask.
And how do villains often escape? Temporarily.
Through a trapdoor, that hidden door in the floor or ceiling. Shaggy fell through a trapdoor. It's a trap in the door.
And how does the gang travel?
In their van, the mystery machine, a large vehicle. They drove the van to the creepy castle. Van is short for caravan.
Wow, looking at it this way really highlights the vocabulary. So how can our listeners actively use cartoons now to improve their English?
Great question. There are some fun, practical things. One is dialogue dictation.
How does that work?
You watch a short clip, maybe just a minute, pause it, try to write down exactly what you heard, then play it again, maybe with subtitles on, to check yourself.
Good for catching details. Any specific examples?
Sure, like SpongeBob's interview with Mr. Krabs for the fry cook job. Listen for everything, the words, SpongeBob's enthusiasm, how sounds link together.
Okay, that sounds really useful for listening skills. What else?
Another fun one is who said what. You find iconic lines from different cartoons and try to match them to the character.
Like a quiz.
Exactly. Could you match these? Like, Zoinks.
Shaggy.
I'm ready.
SpongeBob.
What's up, Doc?
Bugs Bunny.
You meddling kids?
Oh, that's the villain from Scooby-Doo.
Right. And I, pal.
Mickey Mouse.
You got it. It tests your recognition of signature phrases and character voices.
That does sound fun. Okay, what about actually speaking?
For speaking practice, try recreating scenes. Pick a short dialogue, maybe that Tom and Jerry trap scene we imagined.
Tom, this time I've got the perfect plan.
Jerry. Squeak, grin, triggers trap. Tom. Hey!
Yeah.
Narrator. Better luck next time, Tom. Try playing all the parts. Record yourself.
Exaggerate the voices.
Yeah, have fun with it. It helps you focus on pronunciation, stress, pauses, the emotion in the voice.
I can see how that would be really helpful and entertaining. Beyond the pure language, though, these cartoons often had messages, didn't they?
Oh, definitely. Lots of them slipped in cultural messages or little moral lessons. Like SpongeBob, a big theme is embracing being different, right?
I'm not a simple sponge.
Exactly. It promotes optimism, work ethic, friendship, all despite everyone's quirks.
And Scooby-Doo, what was the takeaway there besides snacks?
Scooby-Doo really champions rational thinking and teamwork over superstition. It's almost always a person in a mask, not a real ghost.
It's always the guy in the mask.
Right. It encourages critical thinking. Don't just jump to spooky conclusions.
Even Tom and Jerry, mostly silent, had a sort of message.
I think so. Even in rivalry, there can be a strange kind of respect. The humor is universal, physical, but there's often that underlying back and forth of balance.
What about shows from other places, like Dragon Ball Z?
Dragon Ball Z, hugely popular globally, really emphasizes things like perseverance, discipline, protecting friends and family. There's that quote.
Power comes in response to a need, not a desire.
Yes. That points to a deeper message about strength and responsibility often found in anime.
And even something like Rugrats, from a baby's view.
Rugrats celebrates curiosity, seeing the world through a child's eyes, figuring things out. Their motto says it all. A baby's got to do what a baby's got to do.
These are great points. It adds another layer to why these shows stick with us.
Absolutely. And just to give people more tools, we can touch on a few more vocabulary words that often pop up in these kinds of shows.
Okay, like what?
Well, mischief, that playful troublemaking Jerry loves. Disguise, like the costumes in Scooby-Doo. Resilient, how characters like Tom or Goku bounce back.
Right.
Rivalry, the heart of Tom and Jerry. Clueless, like we said for Patrick. Supernatural, what the Scooby Gang investigates or thinks they do. Illusion, offer the real explanation behind the supernatural stuff. Frantic, how characters get when things go wrong. Companion, like Shaggy and Scooby, always together. Sabotage, what villains might try to do. And transformation, key in shows like Dragon Ball Z. Having these words connected to familiar scenes can really help.
This has been really fascinating, a fun trip back, but also genuinely useful for language learning.
Yeah, we really hope this deep dive into childhood cartoons has sparked some fun memories, but also, more importantly, shown their surprising power as a learning tool, even now.
You should definitely think about maybe rewatching an old favorite, but this time, listen with, like a language learner's ear. Focus on those nuances, the cultural bits.
What stood out most to you listening today? Did you make any new connections between just watching TV and actually learning?
Maybe think about other media you enjoy, movies, songs, games. How could they also be helping your English?
It's all potential practice.
Absolutely. Well, if you enjoyed this exploration and found it useful, please do like this video, share it with friends who might benefit, and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the amazing world of language learning.